Dear student, due to coronavirus, school started online classes for your study. So you can subscribe Golden Flower Palia YouTube channel, like and press the bell icon.
Hello students, I'm here in front of you with the next part of electrostatic, and in this part we are going to discuss about Coulomb's law and vector form of Coulomb's law. And if the time will be there, I'll explain you the law of superposition also. Okay, so let us start with the topic. What is Coulomb's law? What is Coulomb's law and why we are going to discuss this law today? Because when in the space two charges are present together, they interact to each other. Either they repel to each other or they attract to each other. So whatever the force of attraction or repulsion between them acting, will it be depends upon how it depends upon the magnitude of their charge and how it depends upon the distance between them, or is it depending upon the medium in which they are present. Okay, so this we are going to discuss about today. So what is Coulomb's law? Let's come to the statement first, then I'll make you understand how it works, how its mathematical expression we write. So here you can see on the board, at point A charge Q1 is kept and at point B a charge Q2 is kept. Distance between the two charges is small r and they are kept in vacuum. Okay, so when the charges are interacting to each other in a space, there will be a force of attraction or force of repulsion. Simply we can say that there it is a force of interaction between them, because force of repulsion or force of attraction, it depends upon the sign of charge. Okay, so what will be the sign of charge, whether they are like charges or they are unlike charges. Okay, so let's write the statement first. Let two charges Q1 and Q2 are placed in vacuum at r distance apart. Okay, this is the condition we accepted here. The two charges are kept in vacuum at r distance apart. The force of interaction, between them, and this force of interaction, it can be repulsive, it can be attractive, it depends upon the sign of charges. Are they both are positive or they both are negative, or one is positive and other is negative. If they will be like charges, then force of interaction will be the force of attraction. If they are unlike if they are like charges, and this force of interaction will be repulsive. Okay, so the force of interaction between them is directly proportional to the product of charges. And product of charges will be Q1 into Q2, and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. I hope you understood the statement of Coulomb's law. When two charges are kept in vacuum at some distance apart from each other, there will be a force of attraction or repulsion between them that will be directly proportional to the product of charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This law is analogous with the law of gravitation, Newton's law of gravitation. There was a mass and here it is a charge. And that was also the inverse square law. This is also the inverse square law. Okay, so both are analogous to each other. Just mass and charges are interchanged. So according to the statement of Coulomb's law, we will write the mathematical expression force is directly proportional to the product of charges and force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. If we are combining these two equations, we get force is proportional to Q1 Q2 upon R square. Okay, so after removing this proportionality sign, it is very common, you have studied in class 11th also, whenever you are going to remove this proportionality sign, you always get a constant. Okay, so we will write some constant over here after removing this proportionality sign. So when proportionality sign is removed, F becomes equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. What is K? K is a proportionality constant and its value has written 4 pi epsilon naught. This is in vacuum. Okay, this is in vacuum. When we are talking about vacuum, the charges are kept in air or charges are kept in vacuum, then the value of K will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, its numerical value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 and its unit is Newton meter square Coulomb inverse 2. Okay, what is epsilon naught here? So epsilon naught is called permittivity of free space. Epsilon naught is called permittivity of free space. Okay, Hanji. Its individual value is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 and it will be Coulomb square meter inverse to Newton inverse. Is it clear to everybody? So this was the Coulomb's law and that was stated for the force of interaction between the two charged particles when they are kept in a vacuum. But if they are kept in a medium, like they are kept in a water, like they are kept in some other medium which have permittivity little different from the space. Okay, for the space it is, for the free space it is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, so if we are talking about some other medium, then permittivity will be changed because electric polarizability of the mediums are different. Okay, how much charge they can contain, it depends upon different nature of the material. So permittivity is actually, it is electric polarizability of a substance. Okay, dielectric constant that we call. So what is permittivity of if the two charges are kept in a different medium, some other medium, instead of placing in the vacuum, then what will happen? If charges are placed in different medium having permittivity epsilon, okay, then this formula we will write as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square. It's very simple. Okay. So what is epsilon? What is dielectric constant? Here we will talk about dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. It can be represented by epsilon r, it can be represented by k, and it is equal to permittivity of the medium upon permittivity of free space. Okay, so of a medium the permittivity is equal to epsilon r epsilon naught, relative permittivity into permittivity of free space, or dielectric constant into permittivity of free space. They both have same meaning. Okay, relative permittivity and dielectric constant both have same meaning. So you have to keep remember this. So when we are writing F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. So removing this epsilon, we can write it as epsilon R epsilon naught. So the formula will be little change. Now it can be written as also F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R Q1 Q2 upon R square. Okay. So this was the force of interaction between the two charged particles according to the Coulomb's law. Okay. And I told you that it can be repulsive, it can be attractive. It depends upon the sign of charges. Whether if they are like charges, then force will be repulsive. They are unlike charges, then force will be attractive to each other. Okay, now let's talk about very important, that is vector form of Coulomb's law. Okay, vector form of Coulomb's law. So students, you might be knowing that force is a kind of vector quantity. Vector quantities are what? Which need direction as well as magnitude to express. Okay, so force is a kind of vector quantity, and to represent the direction of force we are going to write the vector form of Coulomb's law. I told you that it depends upon the sign of charges whether the force will be attractive, whether the force will be repulsive. It depends upon. So how to write the vector form of Coulomb's law, how we represent the direction of the force? Okay, that's a question now. So let's take case number 1. If Q1 Q2 is equal to, it is greater than equal to 0. Okay, when the Q1 Q2 will be greater than equal to 0. Q1 Q2 will be greater than 0 when both the charges will have same sign. Same sign means either both will be positive or both will be negative. Okay, if Q1 and Q2 both will be positive, then their product will be a positive quantity, and the positive quantity is always greater than 0. If Q1 and Q2 both are negative, then negative multiplied to negative becomes a positive. Positive is always greater than 0. So this case is for like charges. It is for like charges, when the charges are of same sign. Okay, here in this, let's take an example. Let's take understand with a figure. Q1 and Q2 are the two charges. Q1 and Q2 are the two charges having same sign. Okay, then the force of between them will be repulsive in nature. Okay, the force will be repulsive in nature. Suppose Q2 is applying a repulsive force on Q1, that is F12. It is repelling force. It is repelling, going away from the charge. And here Q1 will also apply a force on Q2, that we represent by F21. The force on second charge by first charge, force on first charge by second charge, and distance between Q1 and Q2, it is R. So both are vector quantity. Okay, so write here F12 vector is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. So in this part on the right hand side, whatever part we have now, that doesn't have direction. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is scalar, Q1 Q2 is scalar, R is scalar. So how to represent the direction of F12? So here we will take one more vector, that is called unit vector. Okay, unit vector has a direction, but a certain direction, but the magnitude it is equal to 1. So we will multiply this right hand side with the unit vector. So this right hand side will get a direction. So what will be the unit vector there? So here we write R12. R12 is the unit vector which represents the direction from 1 to 2. Okay, here also we introduce another unit vector R21 which has direction from 2 to 1. Okay, if we are going from Q1 to Q2, we will take this unit vector. If we are moving from Q2 to Q1, then we will take R21. Okay, so this I think you have understood. What is the function of unit vector here? Why we are introducing the unit vector? Because on the right hand side, the quantities that are given in the expression of force, they are scalar. So to represent this vector quantity, we must multiply this scalar quantity with a vector quantity, with a unit vector. Okay, so it will get a direction. So now here you compare F12 with the direction of any of the unit vectors. So F12 is in the direction of R21. So we will multiply this right hand side with R21. And why we are multiplying with R21? Because F12 and R21 has the same direction. So this scalar quantity will also get the direction. Now it becomes a vector quantity. So similarly you can write as F21. F21 will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. And to represent the direction of F21, that is moving from 1 to 2, away from 2. So away from 2, which unit vector is showing the direction? That is R12. So here we will write R12 unit vector. So this scalar quantity is multiplied with R12 and it gave the direction to F21. Okay. So now what we have to do? We just change the direction of R21 to R12. Okay. There its representation I am going to change. Instead of writing R21, I am going to write here R12. So when I write here R12, here I have to put minus. Why I am going to put minus? Because R21 and R12 both are opposite to each other. Okay. So F12 equation can be written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square, and instead of writing R21 I am writing here R12 unit vector. So when I am removing this R21, changing this R21 with R12, I have to put a negative sign here. So what this negative sign is representing? Negative sign is representing that R12 and R21 are opposite to each other. Okay, they both are opposite to each other. So instead of writing R21, I have written minus R12. And this part of the equation is representing this force, F21. Okay, this is the value of F21. So F12 will be equal to minus F21. Okay. The result of F12 is equal to minus F21 we will discuss after the second case. So here comes the second case. It was that when we are taking like charges. Like charges means if both are positive, both are negative, and their product will be always greater than 0. If we are taking the second case number 2, if Q1 into Q2 is less than 0, what does mean it? It means that Q1 and Q2 are unlike charges. Any one of them is positive and another is negative. So when a positive quantity is multiplied to the negative quantity, the result is always a negative, and negative value is always less than 0. So when the charges are unlike, here I am writing unlike charges. Okay, you people take the notes from here and take help of the NCERT book also and solve some numericals related to this topic. Okay, Coulomb's law and vector form of Coulomb's law. Okay, so here it is. We are having Q1 and Q2, two charges which are unlike Q1 and it is Q2. Okay, Q1 and Q2 are unlike charges. That means they will attract to each other. That means Q1 is attracting to Q2 and Q2 will be attracting to Q1. Okay, unit vector will have the same direction, R12 unit vector, R21 unit vector. Okay, these unit vector we are taking just to represent the direction of force, but here it is now the force on Q1 by Q2, F12 will be toward Q2 and F21 will be toward Q1. Okay, the direction of force is now changed. Why it is now changed? Because Q1 and Q2 both are unlike charges. Now they are attracting to each other. So this force is attractive in nature. So when the force is attractive in nature, so how to write it? F12 and R12 both have similar direction, both have same direction. So earlier we were writing here in F12's equation R21, but here we have to write in F12's equation R12. Okay, so F12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square and R12 unit vector. Similarly, we will take the equation of F21. F21 will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square R21. Okay, so 21 is in the direction of 21 and 12 is in the direction of 12. Okay, again I am going to change this equation, the right hand side part of this equation. So F12 is equal to, it can be written as minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square, and instead of writing R12 I am here writing R21. Okay, because R12 is equal to minus R21. Clear? So this is the equation of F21. Thus this will be equal to F12 is equal to minus F21. Again the same result we are obtaining. Okay, so whether the charges are like or charges are unlike, the force of attraction or the force of repulsion acting between the two charges, they will be equal and opposite to each other. Okay, what does this result signifies to us? So this result signifies to us that these are the forces which are acting on the different body and they are equal in magnitude and opposite to each other. So which forces are acting on the different body opposite to each other, equal in magnitude? They are always action reaction forces, as you have studied in class 11th. Okay, Newton's third law. Action reaction forces are opposite to each other, equal in magnitude, acting on different body. So here one very important fact comes out. That fact is Coulomb's law. The Coulomb's law or the Coulombian force, it obeys Newton's third law. Okay, so here we will write from the discussion of this result. So what fact we revealed out? A result or the consequence that came out from this whole discussion, that Coulomb's law obey Newton's third law. Okay, Newton's third law means these attractive or repulsive forces are equal, opposite and acting on the different bodies. They are action reaction forces. And the second fact is what? The second fact is they are acting along the line joining the center of two charges. That means they are central forces. So electrostatic force or Coulombian force is a central force, because it acts along the line joining two charges, center of two charges, center of two charges. Okay, you can see on your screen there it is a numerical, and pause the video, see what is the numerical, read it once, and then we are going to solve it. Okay. The sum of 2 point charges is 7 microcoulomb. They repel each other with a force of 1 Newton when kept 30 centimeter apart in free space. Calculate the value of each charge. Okay, so how to solve this question now? So here I am solving this question. There it is. Sum of two charges Q1 plus Q2 is equal to 7 microcoulomb. Okay, they are repelling each other with a force of 1 Newton when kept at 30 centimeter apart in vacuum. Here we will consider Q1 plus Q2, 7 microcoulomb as equation number 1. Okay, and this we will take all in Coulombian force equation. F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. Okay, what is F? F, it is 1 Newton, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Its value was 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square coulomb inverse 2. So it is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Q1 into Q2, and the value of R we have to take in SI unit 0.30. Okay, whole square. So what will be the value of Q1 Q2? That will be 0.3 into 0.3 divided by 9 into 10 to the power 9. Okay, it can be written as Q1 into Q2, 3 3 are 9, and it can be written as -2. Okay, and upon 9 into 10 to the power 9. 9 and 9 cancelled out. Q1 into Q2 will be equal to 10 to the power -11. or we can write it as q1 q2 10 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, this you have to find out the product of q1 q2 10 into 10 to the power minus 12. Consider it as equation number 2. We have to find out the value of individual charge. So here we have a mathematical equation, q1 minus q2 is equal to under root q1 plus q2 whole square minus 4q1 q2. So q1 minus q2 will be equal to q1 plus q2 whole square, that is 7 microcoulomb. So it can be written as 7 into 10 to the power minus 6 whole square minus 4, and what was the value of q1 q2? It was 10 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, so what will be q1 minus q2? That will be 7 7 ja 49 into 10 to the power minus 12, and it will be 40 into 10 to the power minus 12. So after subtracting 40 from 49, that will be 9 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, find out the square root of 9 into 10 to the power minus 12. So q1 minus q2 will be equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. Either we can write it as q1 minus q2 is equal to 3 microcoulomb. Okay, now it becomes little simple, because we were having q1 plus q2 7 microcoulomb, and we calculated q1 minus q2 3 microcoulomb. So by using simultaneous equations, we can solve these two equations and can find out the value of q1 and q2 separately. So right here q1 plus q2 is equal to 7 microcoulomb and q1 minus q2 as 3 microcoulomb. Okay, cancel q1 and q2 because both are positive and negative. That will be 2q1 equal to 10 microcoulomb. So q1 will be equal to 5 microcoulomb. Okay, substituting this value of q1 in equation number 1, from equation 1, so q1 we calculated, it is 5 microcoulomb, and q2 we have to find out 7 microcoulomb. q2 will be equal to 7 minus 5 microcoulomb, and q2 will be equal to 2 microcoulomb. Whenever you are understanding any concept, so students, you have to go through the numericals of that concept so that you can understood it well. Okay, different situations will be there in the numericals. You have to solve that situations and you will understand, definitely you will understand the topic in very well manner. Okay, so wait for the next lecture, and next lecture tomorrow I'll explain you principle of superposition, and we will talk about electric field. That is the next part of this module. Okay.
Do self-study at home and stay home, save lives.